You're listening to theoutdoorstation.co.uk.
Hello and welcome to this special podcast sponsored by Gregory Mountain Products. Hugo Youngman, the UK distributor for Gregory, joins me to explain some of the key changes and features in the 2007 Z-Pack range, the G-Pack and the women's Jade.
The main change for the Z55 is that you have now got a ventilated back system. So the actual structure of the pack remains exactly the same. You've still got an aluminium substrate, which is shaped, obviously. And then you've got a mesh panel, which allows the air to run through the back of the back, called the jet stream system. I guess more importantly, and what differentiates it from other packs, is that you've also got a substantial scapular pad and a lumbar pad, so the weight is always being transferred down through the spine and obviously around the hip belt as well.
So it looks like there's plenty of ventilation to pass through the side of the pack from side to side. There's nothing trapping the air as such to keep the ventilation from the back.
Absolutely. One of the things that Gregory first started off with was the fact that certain other packs had a frame system that ran round the perimeter of the pack and actually didn't promote airflow. So that was the main reason to do that.
Okay, and any other key significant changes in the range from a structural point of view?
I guess as far as the suspension goes, you've obviously got the jet stream suspension. You've then got the high density polyethylene frame sheet as before. The other interesting thing I think is that all the foams in both the harness and the hip belt have been increased from 8mm to 10mm, which seems obviously it's 25% or 33%, whatever it is, but it just means that it's more comfortable, more able to carry weight. All the foams are now perforated. Okay, and the other thing is there's a 3D, quite substantial 3D wicking mesh on the harness and the hip belt as well. So again, promoting airflow and comfort.
Okay, and what about the actual swivelling and so on of the harnesses? Anything like that on these packs?
No, unlike the response system, which we've been in the UK market for I guess about a year. There's nothing specifically like that to help the kind of hip pivot. I guess because the aluminium frame just comes right down the centre of the spine, that is possible. And also on the front of the pack, you've got some transfer pads which come round from the back of the pack and are attached onto the hip belt, so you can actually control the way the pack moves through that.
So let's just run through the features of the pack for somebody that might be considering this for the first time and actually aren't fully aware of the main features of something like the Z-Pack.
Features rather than suspension, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the features of the pack actually they take a lot of regard of the old Z-Pack, and in that you have a floating lid, which obviously you can overstuff the pack if you really want. You then have basically welded zips on the lid and the front of the pack. What people like about the Z55 and certainly liked about the old Z-Pack was you had a big front bucket pocket, okay, which you could stash a load of gear in.
So that still runs the full width of the pack then? Absolutely,
yes. You've still got that running the full width of the pack, and then you've got an essentials pocket on the front of the pack as well. So that, I guess, that takes its inspiration, I guess, from the old Z-Pack. The other thing is there's been some update on the materials. So now, as well as a 210 double box fabric, there's also a nylon dobby fabric, which is extremely lightweight. And one of the things I think which is a really good thing to do is that the base of the pack has been increased in strength from 210 to 600 denier, which means that the bottom of the pack can take, quite a bit of abuse. It's not going to be like a big Gregory pack, but, it's much better, I think, than the previous Z-Pack.
Are these new at the bottom of the pack, these sort of compression straps?
Yeah, absolutely. They weren't on the old pack. You've got two sets of compression straps on the side of the pack, and then also you've got compression on the bottom of the pack. Quite obviously, in all those cases, you're able to lash stuff onto it if you want. But again, it was felt that if you're not carrying a full load and to try and increase its versatility and usability, compression straps should be applied to the bottom of the pack as well.
Now, you said it's got a floating lid. Is the lid fairly capacious?
Yeah, it's pretty big. It's difficult to estimate exactly what cubic litrage it would be.
You can certainly get your waterproofs and a map and a whole variety of... I mean, it's a good sized lid. It's not huge, but it's not small by any stretch of the imagination, is it?
Yeah, no, certainly. It's definitely of a good size, so you can definitely get your essentials in there.
Now, one thing that people have mentioned about the Gregory range in general, and this obviously is still continuing, is the length of some of these straps that are hanging off the rucksack when you first purchase it.
Yeah.
What are people supposed to do with those?
Okay, well, I guess in the first case is that straps are always made quite long to accommodate the maximum amount of size, quite obviously. My recommendation would be, once you get used to the pack and can tailor-make the pack to your fit, I would actually cut the ends of those straps so you can actually make it fit a little bit better. Because I'm aware that quite a lot of... I mean, I think it's testers and journalists, when they first get the packs, they think, God, these straps are so long. Whereas in reality, the journalists that contacted me, I just say, well, cut them off, treat it as your pack. I want you to use it and experience it. So if that's what it takes, then go for it.
Now, if that's the gents Z pack.
Yes.
What have we got for the ladies?
Okay, well, there's a new pack for the ladies called Jade, and the story behind this pack is essentially Gregory had done a previous incarnation of this pack, but the shape of it was slightly odd, I think. But in essence, this pack takes inspiration from the Z pack. So essentially, you've got exactly the same suspension system, okay, with the aluminium substrate. The differences on the pack are that you've got a slightly narrower back panel. But essentially, it really is exactly the same. You've still got, as on the Z pack, you've got a little canting facility on the shoulder harness and the same versatility on how you carry the actual weight.
And I presume because of the female form, the shoulder harness actually is stitched in a slightly different place.
Yes, stitched in a slightly different place, and obviously it's cut to come down the side of the chest, so it's more comfortable for women. As far as the features of the pack goes, what Gregory have incorporated is, instead of... The pocket does go all the way across, but there's actually two side zipped pockets as well. And these are meant either to carry a drinks bottle in, or, if you don't want to do that, you can cinch them flat and you can use them for, a bar or essentials or whatever, gloves, hat, mittens, whatever you want to use.
And is that on both sides of the pack?
That's on both sides,
so,
yeah.
So a woman can actually wear the pack and reach behind her and pull a bottle out of either of those?
Absolutely, and have it securely placed there as well. Now, to be honest, I haven't exactly got to why they haven't. I think that the point that the research shows is that men prefer to carry, or most carry, bladders as well, whereas it's a bit of more of a contentious issue with women. Whether that's correct or not, I don't know. But obviously, I think that's a really, really nice feature for the women's pack. So. And
once again, you've got the cinch straps, the compression straps at the bottom of the pack.
Yep.
Side of the pack, side entrance to the pack.
Yep.
Big pocket.
Yep.
And of course, you haven't mentioned it, but you've got belt pockets on all these packs as well.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a real big thing. I think there's belt pockets on most of the packs going forward. Sorry, the other thing I should have mentioned, I guess, which has been cited as a useful feature, is the fact that there's a double clasp at the top of the pack. So if you open the centre of the pack and go straight down into it, you don't lose your contents from the front of the pack. Okay, so that's and again, you can lash stuff in the top of there if you really want to.
I certainly found that's quite hard to describe that feature to people, but actually when they get used to it,
yeah.
It's very, very useful, because that front pocket, because it will hold so much, when you take open the lid of the pack, the last thing you want to do is for that to fall out while you're trying to get inside the pack.
Exactly. So, as I say, that's again another feature that's carried forward from the original Z pack.
Great. Okay. So that looks to be. Do you think it's going to be a very popular pack with the ladies this year?
I hope so. It's obviously, so far, it's been a much smaller market than the potential lightweight market for men, but there's no doubt that it's gaining ground. We'll have to see how big it turns out, I guess.
And of course, the colour ranges in both these bigger packs.
Yeah, the colour range is the Z55 comes in the blue and the yellow, and we have substantially more blue than yellow, and the Jade comes in a plum colour and light blue as well. So they're really commercial colours. Compared to the problem with the old Z pack is that because we couldn't colour the Dyneema fabric or the Dyneema thread within the pack looked a certain way and you couldn't actually change it too much. Whereas this, obviously, there's much more versatility.
Okay, so moving down the range then, what's next? You've got something in the 35
Okay,
range,
yeah,
really?
we haven't got an example of it here, but we do actually do a Z35, which is essentially exactly the same frame system as the top pack, but it's got a roll top opening. And the point is that we wanted to do something that was just a little bit different. So we realised that's not going to be huge volumes in terms of sales, but it's interesting, innovative, and actually the opening to the pack is really good. It's really, there's a huge wide mouth, and you just cinch it down at the sides. So that's good. I mean, obviously that's kind of limited in its appeal compared to the 55 and Jade 50, but that's been well accepted in the marketplace.
And the bottom end of the pack then, the actual size-wise, what do you have?
Yeah, again, in order to capitalise on what's been happening with the Z range, because when we first introduced the brand about, 3 years ago now, people wanted to see what was new and interesting coming across from America, and the lightweight packs was certainly one facet of that. The more traditional backpacking packs, it's taken a little bit more time to actually get into that marketplace. So we really wanted to highlight and take advantage of the Z name, as it were. And this is the first product that's been specifically developed for the UK and European market. And what's happened on this Z30 pack, which is going to be available kind of July, is that the frame sheet from the Z55 has been lightened up. It's still the same philosophy and theory in that you've got a jet stream back system, but you've got twin steel rods down the back of the pack. You've actually got a hyperlon patch that means the pack is that much more stable. With some of these packs, if you cut the mesh, they'll just kind of spring open. So the Gregory packs have a little bit more solidity about them. You've also got a decent lumbar transfer, so again, whatever weight you're carrying, it's going to be kind of comfortable all day long. And the shoulder straps have the canting mechanism from the Z55 and Jade models. So the pack is lightened up. Okay, and then when you flip it over, and again you've got those good things like hip belt pockets and aerated meshes. The point is on the Z30, certainly, again, it takes its inspiration from the Z55. So you've still got a big front bucket pocket to stash loads of gear in. You've still got an essentials pocket on the front of the pack, and also a separate pocket in the top of the pack, although this isn't a lid pack, okay, as it were.
I see it's sort of an unusual opening in the actual main pack itself. The zip that runs all the way around the top.
Yeah, absolutely. So the pocket at the top is shaped, and you can fit your essentials in there. When you want to get into the body of the pack, you just zip it down. You can zip it right round or zip it down either side. You flip it open, and you've got an internal pocket that you can get into, or you go straight into the body of the pack like so.
Right, okay. So to try and describe that in words, and the zip really, I suppose, covers half the pack, doesn't it? It starts halfway up and goes all the way over the top and back down the other side.
Yeah.
But it gives you quite a flexible entrance, because obviously if it's raining, you just put your hand through the side, just open the zip at the sides rather than at the top.
Exactly.
As well as the bladder pocket and so on in there.
Yeah, I think, again, it's one of the things perhaps we should have mentioned about the top two packs is they both have side entrance, okay, which for a pack of that sort of weight of about 145 is unusual and a really good feature. With this, I guess that if the zip is down on one side, then you can just use that as an opening, rather like the top two packs as well.
And while you're talking about weights, what are the weights of the smaller packs?
Okay, the weights of the smaller packs are 1,300 for the Z30, and I think about 1,100 for the Z22. So they're not the most lightest weight packs ever. Okay, if you want an unframed, extremely durable pack of about 600, 700 grams, then this is not it. But this is designed as a very durable, comfortable pack that is still very lightweight, but has a frame system within it.
So the marketplace you're looking at for the 22, 30, 35 litre area is the day walkers, presumably people who want decent support, a good durable pack, a reasonable weight. It's not too heavy, it's not too light. It gives them the structure, but it gives them a very durable pack with plenty of life in it.
Absolutely. And I mean, at the prices that the price of these packs is actually, designed to be midway between, some of the premium pack prices that we find, and also some of the kind of traditional ground that, is occupied by the brands at the moment, maybe UK brands.
So that's the Z packs.
Yep.
Obviously the G pack. Now that's still continuing from last year. Is there any changes to that one?
No changes to the G pack. What we found is that obviously at 1200 grams, it's slightly lighter than the Z series. The weight ratio on it, I guess, is up to about 12, 13 kilos. But it adopts a slightly different suspension system. So you've got a 3D molded back panel, and you've got this thing called a stabilizer bar at the bottom, which means that the whole of the bottom of the pack is kind of grabbed and sucked into the bottom of your back through a whole panel rather than just one point, which is normal among most packs. So the suspension system is slightly different. And also the material is slightly different. We've used a siliconized nylon in that, which means that if the material gets pierced in any way, if the threads don't break, then the material just go straight back together. I mean, some people call it a self-healing fabric, but I don't think it's as riotous as that. But it's a lot more durable than people would think. Probably as durable as some of the 210 fabrics that we use. And the G-Pack's been around for a couple of years now and has been, it's just really, really comfortable. So for that sort of multi-day stuff, it's a great pack.
So the 2007 range then, has that changed at all from 2006? Is it just the material that's on it, but everything else is the same?
Well, I mean, for the last 2 years it's been the same. The original G-Pack was a 30 denier fabric, which in America really kind of shocked the retailers into thinking that Gregory were bringing out some new and exciting stuff. They bought into that pack, but to be honest, I don't think consumers were necessarily ready for it because the fabric was so thin. It was obviously tough, as because you deal with these fabrics all the time. But they upgraded it for the second season to this 70 denier siliconized fabric, and that's where it is today.
So finally then, looking across the range of the Zs and this G-Pack, how are you finding people have been using these products or are currently using these products to give, and also some of the load carrying capacity? Because that was one thing we didn't touch on with the Jade and the Z-Pack. Actually, what sort of weight is a good weight for those to carry? And then if you would mind, just tell me who's using the packs and what sort of activities they're undertaking.
In terms of the load carrying capacities, the Z55, Jade 50 and Z35, they're all around up to a maximum of 35 pounds, okay? With the more lightweight Z packs, they're probably up to about 25 pounds, but obviously they're lesser capacities anyway. And I think the same is true with the G pack. Again, that's up to about 30 pounds, something like that. So I guess 12, 13 kilos. And I guess just in terms of how they're used, as I said before, we'd always been really excited about supplying the original Z pack into the market because Chris Townsend took it on, reviewed it quite extensively, and as far as I know, still uses it. He's now got a new Z55, which I hope he uses in the TGO Challenge. But obviously, they're all meant for kind of multi-day activity, backpacking. Cameron McNeish used his doing the GR20, so it's for those type of trips that they're most suitable for when you're going to carry a pack for over quite a long period and do a decent walk in them. As for the Z30 and Z22, we're into classic day walking territory there, and it's the first time, as I say, that Gregory have had anything, I guess, this commercial to offer in that sector, so we're really encouraged about the future.
More information can be found about Gregory and other products on Hugo's website, www.esc-outdoor.com.
This sponsored programme has been brought to you by The Outdoor Station, the exciting new way to see and hear free information about the outdoors world. If you're a blogger, or if you have a website, you can now incorporate any of these podcasts directly to your site, completely free. Visit our website, theoutdoorstation.co.uk, for more information.